Are you ready, Diff?
Yep. Ready to go.
Okay. I'll wait for Incentive to see if he is good to go. Okay, good. So, welcome to whatever Q&A this is. I stopped counting a long time ago. I guess first, might as well start with the biggest one. People always want to know any publisher news, Diff.
Yeah, I mean, nothing definitive, and we're coming to the end of the year, so quarter one is going to be on people's minds. So we don't have anything signed. We've talked to quite a number of people, and some of those people that declined earlier in the year have actually kind of knocked on the door. Just that's always promising, right? Like, hey, how's it going? And let's talk a little bit further. But I don't expect anything to happen between now and the end of the year. And we'll see what the next quarter brings. But certainly they're going to lock all their financials down. So nothing concrete would happen, I think, now, unfortunately.
Okay. Oh, getting into the first set of questions. These are from Uber Random. First one being, do the devs know if there have ever been a case of a Morgana being sunk by a dud torpedo, or do you even collect that sort of information?
Yeah, so I actually looked that up, and the answer is yes, but it happened in beta, and it happened once, and it probably was under test conditions. We haven't seen it happen in live because the amount of damage is so small.
Yeah. All right, their next question is, completing League of Nations stories gives random vestures, including ships you haven't otherwise seen yet, and they could be hard mode vestures at that. What are the rules regarding what vestures are available? Could a new player get a battleship vesture immediately? Are there HQ level breakpoints, etc.?
As to the battleship vesture question, once upon a time, yes, that changed long ago.
Okay. I thought it was like way during the beta.
Well, I'm glad that Jank was here, because I was about to say I don't actually know. Okay, great.
I do remember getting those a long time ago. All right, the third question is, can we get a clarification on how the fleet resource boost stat works? It doesn't seem to increase the amount of resources gained after auto completion, so is it related to cruises?
Sorry, hold on one second, guys.
Yeah.
I gotta take a call. Jank, do your best.
How the fleet resource boost stats work? It doesn't increase the amount of that. Yeah, the mechanics of that I'm not privy to.
Okay, we'll move along somewhat until Diff is ready then. We'll skip ahead a little bit to Kiyoshi's one question revolving, will the community hold a VB fanfic event to post the best reading stories related to the game? This one I can actually answer. Please don't use a soundboard.
I wondered about that, Jesus.
Yeah, the first question, or the answer to this, since I guess I technically run these, we have run a similar competition in the past involving flash fiction. I don't think we'll do something along the lines of a longer form fan fiction style one. I could be wrong though. Usually, what happens?
Wigbird, I'm back, by the way, in case you. Do we need to go back to the earlier questions?
We can once I'm done answering this one.
Okay, got it. Sorry, go.
Yeah. But to finish up with this question, the competitions are usually discussed between myself and Yami, and then we decide what we're going to run. I can definitely float a fanfic one, but it's a sort of a longer style we wouldn't normally do. But I'll look into it. Going back, Diff, the question was, can we get a clarification on how the fleet resource boost stat works? It doesn't increase the amount of resources gained after auto completion, so is it related to cruises?
No, I sort of think it's related to battle. So if you're manual battling, I think that's where the bonus applies. I don't think it applies to cruises. Well, I guess actually they're saying it definitely doesn't. Unfortunately, I'm not the person who coded that particular behavior, so I'm not familiar with the logic exactly. But yeah, I believe it's battle.
Okay.
We gotta go.
For the fourth question from Uber Random, can we get info on how crits work? Traits can stat crit defense. Is there a table of crit rolls like for gunnery, as expanded upon in the Combat Bible? Do they work
Yeah.
differently? Or are they rolled
Yeah,
by hand?
I think as who's this Uber random? Yeah,
Yeah.
Uber as you probably know, like it was popular to attack the engines in the cockpit, right? Like that's sort of in part what crits represent, and then other things too, like hydraulic systems, um, and other points of failure on an aircraft. Obviously, Bell's is going to be mostly simulating, ship versus ship. So we didn't do like a full table for the aircraft. Instead, it's all based on damage. So basically, when you get a crit in an aircraft, you're just doing more damage. I forget what the multiplier is, but it's significant. Um, and that's kind of how we're representing it. I mean, in the real world, a lucky shot can instantly down the aircraft, no matter who's flying or what conditions. Obviously here it's just going to be a multiplier in your damage, and the power of a 7.7, is just not going to be, very significant against a crit with a, Hispano-Suiza autocannon, right? Getting crit defense is great because it means that your aircraft will be able to last longer in combat, basically. Oh, and crits are rolled per shot, not per. Well, since the shot is a burst, yeah, then I think what you said here is correct. They're rolled per burst, and nothing to do with burst accuracy.
Okay, moving on. I already did Kyoshi's questions. Alex's first question is: are there any ships the devs would like to see back? They recently put forward one for Prince Eugen, not the German one. Before anyone starts talking.
Yeah, I mean, as you guys probably have seen through the lineup, we're really big fans of those odd ships that persisted into World War II and it didn't get any action because they're so odd. But there are some really interesting like steamers out there. France has some pretty old cruisers, like really old cruisers actually, still plying the seas. They're wooden vessels. You guys know what I'm referring to there. Yeah, I mean, the weirder the better, right? Like it's kind of in part what we wanted to do in this game is really kind of show off. World War II was a transitional state, but all these approaches to naval combat existed, right, contemporaneously.
I have thought on and off that it would be really neat to see the Mary Celeste come back as a Morgana, but of course that's the realm of pure fantasy, at least at this stage.
For now.
I mean, shoot, if we're gonna go there, then Thunderchild needs to be in this. And,
oh yes, I mean, yeah. if one is possible, the other is there's no reason.
Right. Which would be super cool. And speaking of fictional ships, like anything in Bywater's Great Pacific War, right, would be outstanding to have.
All right. Alex's next question is: what are your plans for a free French Navy? Are you going to combine us with the British and USA war rooms, or get us a combined war room with them? This is really more of a server staff question. So since I'm here, I'll go ahead and answer that question. It really depends on what's going on at the time. It's a decision we would make when it becomes pertinent. So maybe.
And that was our approach too. We were not relishing the turnaround time, let me say, when we get to May of 1940, or whenever that exactly happens, because of course we'll want to do all of that justice. But you guys got to decide what happens.
Yeah. So if France falls, we'll figure that out when we need to. If you don't, then it won't be an issue. So try not to, because I don't want to have to figure it out. Alex's third question is: does the art team already have a design or any artwork done of the Richelieu class, similar to Bismarck, whom, if he recalls, already had a Bell fully designed, considering how close they are to commissioning date?
Yes, of course. That was done years ago. One of my favorite designs, actually, in the game is this particular Bell. Very, very cool looking.
There you go. We'll just have to wait and see. Moving on to VOFin's question. This is one they asked in a previous Q&A. I don't remember which, but they asked it again so we can get some more clarification. What is the plan regarding ships that were sunk or scrapped prior to 1939? They said there are examples in the game already that fit this description, ergo it doesn't matter. So could they still be added to the game?
Yeah, I think our perspective on this is that number one, we are unlikely to add ships that are sunk or scrapped prior to 1939. But if there is real interest from the player base, as there is, for the German High Seas Fleet, for instance, then yeah, we're excited to do interesting bells and kind of show off interesting ship design. So sure.
Okay. Next set of questions are from Free Jones. Their first one being, can bells change into their costumes magically, or did they make/buy the clothes themselves?
I have a perspective on this. The design philosophy of the Bell skins is roughly a costume that exists in universe that the captain could conceivably convince said Bell to wear. And even 1930s, 1940s special effects can I think reliably produce a realistic looking Americorn for in Narwhal's case. So yeah, in general, it's an in universe sort of phenomenon. As regards costume changes, I'm not aware that there's any magic behind it.
Yeah, I think I would say that it's probably a mixture of both. So on the one hand, Captain could purchase clothes, quite simply for the bells to wear. Once the bell sees the design, becomes acquainted with it, she could probably, I would think, be able to manifest that. But she'd have to see the design. She'd have to know what it, how she was meant to look, right, in order to do it. Is my read on the situation. But Jank, I think your word is final on that one.
Yeah, and of course Verdun and Southampton, though Southampton doesn't have a skin yet that I'm aware of, they make all their stuff themselves.
Well, there you go. Word from on high. Also, hello, Corky. No worries about missing. Yeah, you haven't missed much. Free Jones' second question is any Swedish bells? Vasa, perhaps?
We absolutely want to do, bells of some of the minor powers, Sweden included. I don't think that there's a plan for Swedish bells until the opportunity in the war makes itself manifest that, sort of there should be, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we're definitely open to it, 100%.
All right. And their third question is, does Queen Mary get inundated with requests to host bell bashes so the bells can hang out together?
Jank, that's you.
Yes, canonically, yes. I mean, she's just by the nature of what she is and who she is, right? She is a plum location for such things. But of course, her dance card is pretty consistently full. So get those requests in right away.
There you go. And the final set of questions sent in before we open it to the community are from Cervantes. Their first one being, how does torpedo range work? Say a flagship has a tactic that does a torpedo run at medium range, but the equipped torpedoes don't have a maximum range beyond brawl. Will they launch at all?
No, they won't. And they'll have to wait until the next time the command specifies a launch, which is usually a brawl.
Okay. Their second one is, if a torpedo has a maximum range higher than the range from which they are launched, say Longer Lance is launched at brawl range, does that extra range help in some way, like making it more accurate?
No, it's all physics based and sort of probability based. So range just simply allows you to use the weapon, at longer ranges, which in the case of a torpedo is frighteningly inaccurate, right? Unless you're launching them as sort of a big shoal. But yeah, it doesn't affect accuracy in any way. It's just you can deploy the weapon, at a longer range target.
All right. And their final question is, why are New Orleans and her sisters so, as they say, extra?
Well, it's. I think the New Orleans class, which it must be remembered was originally called the Astoria class before it was renamed, it derives its reputation from the first belle of that class to appear in game, which is New Orleans. There's no conscious effort that I am aware of to make this class particularly spicy. That's just the way that it's shaken out.
Any words on that, Tiff? Anything to add?
Nope. I'm gonna go with what Jenk said.
All right then. Let's see while we wait to see if anyone has any further questions. What can I waffle on about? Mm. Have you read the New War report yet, Div?
No, I have not. I'm afraid that Thanksgiving took me away from the desk.
I see. Well, some interesting things have occurred.
Okay, well, I have it on my agenda. I love reading those things.
Well, we managed to we did it, Diff. We saved the Greeks, sort of.
Okay, I'm very excited to see this.
Yeah. Nothing bad ever happened.
No, nothing bad ever happens.
Of course not. That would be wrong. Sweep is right. Things did blow up. Is there any word on the mascots that won the mascot competition? I know it was last stated that if the team could fit it in, they would make them. So is there any word on that?
No, I haven't heard anything. But again, I didn't follow up on that. That's actually a good thing to put in my inbox, Wigbert, so I can go look at that.
Okay. So Calc, we'll get back to you on that once Stiff actually gets an answer for that. Let's see, from Croft Need, I hope I pronounced that correctly. If not, too bad. Do shell splashes from missed shots interfere with ship's accuracy?
Well, in earlier versions of the game, we had interesting things like exactly the phone that you're talking about, where the gunner misunderstands what shell splashes belong to his salvo versus somebody else's, and we had concentration penalties, right, for that exact purpose. Thing is, when you when you started to put that in, it became really difficult to visualize what was happening to the average player. I mean, it's already right, like you can see the shot and boom, boom, boom. But for players that don't understand how it is that that they walked fire onto a target, right? It didn't translate well, right? People talk about you needing a glossary for the game, right? Like you definitely need some kind of metaphor, right, to teach people. So no, we pulled it just because so many people were getting confused as to why shot success percentage was going down when you had 28 batteries firing on the same target.
All right. Alex wants to know what's going on with Durflinger, if anything else.
No comment.
Got it. Sounds good. Let's see what else. I've got a question. Are there any sort of competitions you guys would like to see the dev team wise for us to run? Because I know we've done, we did the propaganda poster one, we've done fiction style ones in the past. Are there any that we haven't done or have done that you would like us to do or redo?
I mean, I don't know how you do it, but I like seeing strange ship designs.
Okay,
right. I always enjoy people who are sort of breaking the system and creating these abominations. That's always a lot of fun for me. But beyond that, no. Jank, you got anything?
No, I will tell you, the writing competitions are my favorites, and I'm always very happy to see what people come up with for those.
Okay, I've been contemplating running another writing one, but I will add the ship design one to the list. That does sound interesting and different. I've got a few more questions. Waffle wants to know if there's any updates on Frunes.
For me, no comment.
No comment. Okay. Let's see. Same. I'm going to presume that's the same with any questions about Tosa. Probably still no comment. Kalk wants to know if you can fix avarice, corruption, and murders lines. They still sound like treason, apparently.
That's a Yami question, but yeah, I can knock on the door.
Okay, I will forward that to Yami as well.
Vess put in something that sounds to me like a bug. So Vess, if you would circle bug like an equipment setup where you're seeing that behavior, I'd be interested in taking a look at that for sure.
It does sound like a bug, actually. Yeah. Huh. Oh, here's another competition idea I've seen: Morgana design contest.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be very cool.
Slap that one on my super secret document. Ooh. Let's see, what else? Actual question from Alex. Would the dev team would you even allow the Prince Eugen, the battleship, to be brought back, even if it's only for marketability? It's a hard word.
I mean, we're not opposed.
Again, not against it.
If circumstances, allowed, yeah, that sounds cool to us. Well, it sounds cool to me anyway.
True. Got to convince other people. Convince your war room first.
This is
what else?
Actually perfect. If it's winding down, Wigbert, then that means more time in the mines.
You want to go back to coding?
Well, yeah. When you're in the middle of something, you're kind of like, I kind of want to get back and finish that.
Somebody named Creating Garbage has suggested a Morgana design contest. I hope your name isn't a statement of intent.
I did see that one. I did see that one. Yeah, I will add it and forward it to the requisite people.
Yeah, I think that's pretty dang cool.
Yeah,
It would be cool. It would be cool. There was, and of course, the thing about Morganas and how they're named, right? They're named after negative or vaguely negative concepts and stuff. I feel like there would be inevitable overlap, at least in the design space, or at least in the vocabulary space, because there's only so many concepts. But I am always excited to see what fan artists come up with.
Gladys, I don't know what questions you asked. You didn't send them in to me. I don't believe. If you did, I missed them.
Waffle, I'm not Belgian enough for that.
Gladys, if you could just type the questions out again, I'll go ahead and get them asked. While you're doing that, I will go ahead and talk about the next competition that we're holding. I'm going to announce more about it on the 1st. But for now, I don't mind saying it will be a poetry competition. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. I didn't just lie, but I don't think I did. Pretty sure it's poetry. Yes, it will be a holiday-themed poem contest.
Just toss them out.
Oh, I found them. I did forget to put them in. That's my mistake. Any costumes for Leopard or Provence planned?
Planned? Yes.
Okay. The second part of that question answered itself. There has been a sale recently.
On the subject of Provence, there is something that I've been throwing around behind the scenes. At the time that her story was being written, I toyed with the idea of her shifting into different art styles depending on her emotions. Like, if she went cubist, she would really be going through it. So, if there were a Provence skin, like cubist Provence or some other art style, would be my go-to idea.
There are so many possibilities.
Endless.
Sorry, go ahead, Jake. Oh, endless. Yeah, that's what you said. The next question from Gladys was, "Will the gacha-only bells eventually get a map release?" I know it's been asked before, but I don't remember the answer.
Oh, sorry. Could you repeat that?
Yeah. Sorry. Will the gacha-only bells eventually, like the current ones, eventually get their own map release as well to be farmable?
Well, that like many questions of economics will depend entirely on how the publisher wants to approach it.
Okay.
I don't foresee that we will maintain control over that if we enter into a publishing agreement.
Okay. So that would be totally up to the publisher, most likely. Calx asked a question: Are we going to advance to March while the publisher thing is still going on?
Yeah, I don't think anything related to sort of the war is going to be paused by that. At least from what I'm privy to, that hasn't ever come up as a point of discussion.
Okay. And Wellington wants to know, if they do get the Lions built, can they propose one as a bill?
Well, I mean, sure, yeah, of course.
Corky, missed publisher-wise, several people that originally declined have come back to ask questions, but otherwise nothing will probably happen before the end of the year. Unless I missed something, Diff, but I think that's basically what.
Oh, that's the message.
Will there be a league story for March?
Oh, I don't know on that one. I believe March was written, but now that the fingers, so to speak, are off the pulse of the war, I don't know how or if that would be tailored for March.
Okay.
So it's a good question.
Okay. Let's see. I'll let Wellington know his question get answered. See, Alex wants to know, have you thought about switching to 2-week-long missions to give the riders more time, more impact for decisions, or to give players slightly more time to research the effects of each? That's more of a question for you, Corky, since it's part of the metagame, I imagine.
I don't follow entirely how 2-week-long missions would do that.
And speaking purely mechanically, like it would be difficult to gather the results, right? Because you'd have to calculate both weeks' outcomes. I guess maybe if you publish the missions beforehand, right, and had everybody sort of talk about it, and then the next week, put it in the game. But
Yeah, but that would just prolong the cycle even longer, and I feel like we are already at a very slow pace. Or
Yeah,
at least at a slow pace. It could be slower, of course.
it could be.
It went all right, actually, this time.
Let's see. Calc wants to know why Astoria is the way she is.
Yes. Yes, I can answer that. So, as I think I addressed it in the chat a few weeks ago, but while we're all gathered here, Astoria is the way she is because she, of course, is named after Astoria, Oregon, which was founded by John Jacob Astor, who, for his time, was, I mean, literally the Jeff Bezos of his day. His personal wealth amounted to like 1% of the GDP of the whole United States at that time, as Bezos, as I believe, does now. He was part of the opium trade. He got in on the ground floor of real estate in Manhattan. He was in the fur trade. Every lucrative business of that day he had a hand in. So yeah, Astoria herself is, she's greedy, she is acquisitive, she is, capitalism at its most exploitative.
All right. I did see another one. Tuna wants to know how much it actually costs to make a bell and release, if you can give that out.
Well, I don't think we can go into the specifics, but yeah, it's a meaty price. There are a lot of people involved. a lot of individual creators, a lot of, sort of staff hours. That's just on the art side, but then there's all the writing, personality development, the equipment, research that goes into that. Yeah, it can be pretty extensive.
All right. Last two questions from Gladix. How soft are Sloth's bears?
Jank?
I mean, they're soft. If you want to experience it for yourself, good luck. The ones you can recruit, I think they can be taught to like hugs and or cuddles. Who couldn't be? As to the second question, does Sloth like spooning or hugging in bed? I don't think she's ever had occasion to experience that. I mean, again, good luck.
Well, there you go. We'll cut it short here, Diff, since you've said you've got some. You want to get back to the salt mines.
Oh yeah, but I mean I've got the hour block, so I mean I'm more than willing to continue.
Well,
But if we're winding down, hey, no worries there.
we can wind it down, yes, because we finished all the questions that were sent in after I missed Gladix's by entire mistake. That is my bad, Gladix. Nothing personal. I just entirely forgot to add yours. Let's see. I'll go ahead and well, since you just said that,
Yeah, Calc just opened the door to that.
Calc did just open the door to that. This is today's
Oh,
teaser.
no, Alex, I haven't. Can you hear that? There you go.
There's today's teaser. Yes, it is great.
It's super comfy though, Alex. It's fantastic.
Zodiac wants to know if we have an update on Maryland beyond the one that was in today's war report.
No, I'm dying to read it. I can't wait. It's one of my favorite things, actually.
So yeah, other than that, no updates on Maryland, Zodiac. Sorry.
I'm very pleased at all the filigree on Gorizia. She turned out really well.
I'm very pleased too.
Yeah, Wigbert, why don't you zoom in on that wine bottle?
I'm aware of the bottle. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
I'm much aware of it. I was asked about it before. I had to
Okay,
go.
fantastic.
How old do I want wine to be? I don't know. I don't really drink wine. Like, okay.
Yeah, Waffle. Actually, I think that's why they paired them that way. Is that they're both gold plated.
But that's basically it. Unless there's anything you would like to add, Diff or Jenk.
Yeah, Alex has one for Corky, I think.
What?
I think Alex's question is for you.
Oh, it's involving John Bart. Are you potentially leaving it viable for John Bart to become infected like Maryland, or just turn into a Morgana? Is Alex's question.
He wants to know because, well, he's a French player,
Yep.
and therefore I won't tell him.
Yeah, there you have it.
So
All right.
the answer is technically yes. I leave it potentially viable.
Oh, Calc, I don't know when she's coming to the game, unfortunately.
Neither do I. My gut says probably by the end of the week, but I don't know.
I know.
Well, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Because I was slow. No, it was an exchange between Yemi and me, and it put us in a hurry for half a day. And then she said, "Oh, I found another way," and so it will be very soon.
There you go.
All right. Outstanding. Well, then, I don't think we're having another QnA in December, so let me say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and Happy Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and Winter Solstice and whatever holiday you guys celebrate. Let it be a good one. And,
yes.
We'll see you on the side.
Yes. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good war.
Yes. Since the holidays, I will not be holding a Q&A during December. I will skip that month, and we will reconvene with these in January.
Great.
So everyone gets a month off. Yeah, exactly. Free Jones is right. The war will be over by Christmas.
Yeah,
Everyone knows
This plan is
What?
definitely going to work.
What? Wait. I want to continue.
All right, you guys. Cheers.
Peace out.
Yeah, Waffle is right. Rich Christmas. Doesn't it's like the soap